Today's episode of Nerdy Talk is brought to you by Fuchsia, connecting Japanese performers with events around the world. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on Nerdy Talk do not reflect those of Anime Herald. Due to strong language, listener discretion is advised. Now sit back and enjoy the show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fans of all ages. It's time for Nerdy Talk, the only podcast that knows it's the end of the anime world as we know it, but we feel fine. I'm Mike Ferreira, joined this week by Matt Brown and Anthony Simpson.
Yo!
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Good enough, I guess.
You know, cool.
Awesome.
Because I never step outside because it's fucking hot in Florida.
Yeah, it's pretty hot up here in Pennsylvania, but it's also humid as hell.
Anyway, before we get rolling, I actually want to talk about something personal, something that I did a write-up on about a week ago, but I know you guys haven't really been caught up in this or anything like that. About a week ago, Funimation released their Darker Than Black Premium Edition Blu-ray set. For those who don't know, about, I want to say February or so, give or take, they announced that they were given a quote-unquote limited license to produce 5,000 copies of a Darker Than Black set. At the time, details were scarce. They said that it was going to be this big premium edition with special pack and blah 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 blah, and the buy-in price for the full series was $100. Well, sorry, $99.98 because those 2 cents make a difference. Anyway, I got this in, like I said, about a week ago, and I will be honest, this thing is a piece of steaming garbage. I mean, this thing is made to not be a Blu-ray set. It's made to be just something you put out for a company. They look at it, they go, ooh, they go, ah, and that's about it. The packaging is quite literally a black file envelope. I mean, I understand they wanted to go with the whole theme and everything, but for what you're paying, you're paying for a black envelope and admittedly somewhat nice art book and a bunch of discs in a folder. And the folder does not hold the discs. Like, literally, when I opened this thing up for the first time, the discs were just splayed out. Like, if it wasn't shrink-wrapped, it would have actually been falling out of the folder itself. And for the most part, this thing is horrible. I mean, for a $100 Blu-ray set, considering that we're coming off of some really nice stuff from them, like their Cowboy Bebop set, which was the exact same price, mind you, was gorgeous. I mean, sturdy chipboard, nice case, actual case, and a sturdy art book. Hell, even This America with their own line of sets, you get real cases, you get a nice art book, you get an actual chipboard box set. If you don't, it's not going to fall apart if you look at it the wrong way. This thing here, I cannot recommend it at all. It is, without a doubt, the worst premium edition I have ever bought. And I mean, I have bought some pretty weird shit over the years. I mean, I'm one of those people that paid the $75 for the DigiCarrot set back in the day. So I have a history of buying weird sets. And among the many I have, this is, without a doubt, the absolute worst. Shame on you, Funimation, for $100 set. I expected way more out of you.
Maybe they got the materials from Akbar's discount premium extras.
Maybe they got their ideas from Aniplex. Oh, I just went there.
No, if they got their ideas from Aniplex, it would have been a $400 set.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been the whole first season. It would have only been like the first 7 episodes.
Oh, snap. Good point. Yeah,
I don't know. $400 seems light. It might have been more.
Yeah, it would have been $800 because $400 is what they charge for the 12 episode sets. Like Face Day Night Unlimited Blade Work Set 2. Now available for pre-order. The import set is quite literally twice the price of what you can get the actual import for.
Well, shipping is expensive, dog.
Yeah, and it's import.
You're paying extra to get it shipped over on a boat instead of flown.
Good point.
So it'll actually arrive 3 months later than it could have because it's on a boat. It's got its flippy floppies and its swim trunks. It's hanging out.
But you get that nice little translation booklet. That 24-page booklet totally makes up for the extra $200.
Yeah, and sometimes it has spelling mistakes.
Exactly.
Oh,
that's the fun of it.
The people writing the translation book are on the boat too. But, they gotta split their time between sunbathing on the deck and getting hammered.
Translation gets so much easier when you've had a few stiff drinks.
I feel like you didn't give your rant give that rant your all, Mike.
All right, you want to know my real feelings? This thing is absolute shit. I mean, I have gotten shit from the dollar store that's built more durably than this thing. I swear to fucking God. I mean, this thing is absolutely garbage.
Whoa there. Didn't tell you to blow your top.
Hey, you want me on 11? You get me at 11. But yeah, I mean, seriously, it kills me because the Blu-rays themselves are really nice. The video quality is fantastic. The audio is redone well. The extras on the disc are surprisingly nice and well laid out. It's just, this presentation is awful. The overall build quality is shit. And, I mean, how the hell do you make a folder where you're almost ripping art cards to pull them out of a folder? How the hell does that happen? A folder that's made to hold paper items. You literally have to almost rip the paper items to pull the paper items out. I honestly don't get it. So, yeah, anyone out there, this thing is absolute crap. If you really need to have it, make sure you have a few spare Blu-ray cases available, because no matter what, you're going to ruin this set if you open it more than twice. And if that's not the case, the whole fact that the disc jostle around freely, mind you, there's no restraint holding the damn disc there at all, is going to destroy your Blu-rays. So, regardless of how it looks, you're kind of fucked without a couple of Blu-ray cases.
Of course, you're talking to people who've already downloaded the rips anyway.
Shh. Funimation doesn't have to know that. No, just kidding. Oh, man.
You just made it easier for them. Shame on you.
Well, shame on Funimation for making a bad product. I paid $100 for this goddamn thing. I don't feel like it should have been half that. I mean, at least in a $100 set, I expect to get a real goddamn Blu-ray case, or something that will actually hold the Blu-rays in place, not a fucking file folder with a couple of Blu-ray sized holes cut into it.
I mean, it seemed like a good idea. It just it seemed like maybe the execution could have been better.
I mean, the idea wasn't bad. I mean, I appreciate what they were trying to go for, but at the same time, they really skimped out on the material quality. I mean, it would have worked a lot better if, say, instead of just a literal paper file folder here, cardstock. It's a little bit thicker than paper.
Right.
Instead of, say, a cardstock file folder, they use, I don't know, a chipboard box like the Nisa sets that mimics that same style. I mean, you wouldn't have that neat little... It wouldn't have the same function, obviously, but you could get a similar look and a hell of a lot more durability out of the exact same thing. Same thing with the file folders. I mean, I'd honestly rather that they just put in a couple of Blu-ray cases in there with the actual discs, so I don't have to worry about this thing just falling apart in my hands in a year.
You know, I was thinking, since I had to get permission from Aniplex to do this as a print run, I wonder if this decision for this came from, if this was something they just decided on their own, or if this was something that came from Aniplex. I wonder.
Well, if it came from Aniplex, then I swear to God, it had to be something behind the scenes saying, we won't let them make this unless it gets so many complaints they beg us to take it back. I
mean, I know they had to get permission to do a limited print run. I mean, this wasn't just something like, oh, the other, like, other shows they license. Like, oh, hey, we can, do this because it's an Aniplex show, and now, of course, now they have a U.S. subsidiary, and
Right.
So I don't know if that was, if this was on their part something they thought was a good idea, or if this was something again that they were basically told by Aniplex, and I mean by Aniplex of Japan, not Aniplex of America, that you got to do it this way.
That would be a lovely conspiracy, wouldn't it?
It would. That would just be too convenient. But I mean, this just really seems like it seemed like a good idea at the time, and we just completely fucked it. We completely fucked the dog on it.
Poor pooches, always getting screwed.
Definitely. I mean, and it really kills me because the actual video quality on the discs is wonderful. It really is. The actual Blu-ray part of the Blu-ray set is fantastic. I have no complaints there. It's just the rest of it.
Well, I will give them credit, though, that if people do have scratch discs, they are at least giving them replacements. I'll at least give credit there. That they're at least doing that much.
That is true. It just, at the same time, they shouldn't have made a product where it could get scratched in the first place. I mean, I'm guaranteeing there's got to be at least a 15 to 20% scratch rate on these things.
I mean, it seemed like it'd be a good idea if they put them in those sleeves, but then had something like
an adhesive cover or something.
Yeah, something like a flip, like we'll kind of go with the folder theme motif here, like a like the little cover part, like for the envelope that you fold down, not like some with it maybe like a like a Velcro, like piece like a Velcro on the the cardstock and or whatever it is, and then you have a flap, and then that flaps over and it covers it,
like an actual pouch type of thing.
Yeah,
that would have worked a hell of a lot better. I'm gonna agree. As it is right now, they're just pockets.
I mean, since that's what I read, I'm like pockets. I'm like, well, maybe if they put a cover on top, that would help.
Yeah, that would definitely help a lot. I mean, at the same time, it kills me because it's like they just come off of this gorgeous set for Cowboy Bebop. I mean, this thing was incredible, sturdy, clean, attractive, and at the same time, it was well put together. I mean, yeah, you only had a standard Blu-ray case, but at the same time, it did its job. I mean, a case is there to hold the discs. For this thing here, I understand what they're going for. It's just...
It's just that a file folder is made to hold files.
Exactly. And it's not made to be opened and closed repeatedly, so it's definitely something that's going to fall apart on people before too long. I'd be a little less pissed if this thing was even $30 cheaper, but for $100, I mean...
So you're willing to pay $70 for a piece of shit?
No, I'd still be pissed, just not as pissed. Key difference there.
Well, hopefully we'll learn from this one, and then they'll, maybe find a different solution for future premium releases.
I really hope so, because I'm amazed that this got through QC, because, I mean, this is, like I said, I bought a lot of their limited editions over the years, from Attack on Titan to Cowboy Bebop to, the list goes on. It's like, this is the first one I've ever had this kind of issue with, where I'm legitimately concerned about the quality of the product.
Well, like I said, hopefully they learn from this and maybe do something different in the future.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. So, what are you guys watching?
Well, I'll go with mine. The same streaming shows I was before from the current season, which is My Love Story, Wish Upon the Pleiades, Punchline, Show by Rock, and Assassination Classroom. I recently finished Unbreakable Machine Doll. So here's just a kind of quick kind of synopsis, a quick review of it. The first 8 episodes are actually pretty good. The last 4, they're not terrible, but the show has no ending, and it needs more episodes. And the CG's kind of iffy in some spots. And the dub isn't bad. It just has a lot of British accents. Some work and some don't. And that's on that one. But I also recently started, though I just only got through the first episode, Engaged to the Unidentified. I don't know why. I guess it was just something in my backlog, and I just wanted to give it a shot. And I like the first episode so far. It looks really nice, quality-wise, at least from what I've seen. I haven't really got any farther in it, but yeah, that's all I'm watching. So what are you guys watching?
Well, first off, let me say this, Anthony. You wonderful bastard got me watching the show by What Rock.
Really? How are you enjoying that show?
Well, the first episode I wasn't too sure. Then I kind of realized it was 2 a.m. and all 6 episodes that I had access to were over. So I kind of shotgunned the thing in the night. So I think I like it.
I'm actually amazed people are now actually listening to what I have to say about shows and watching stuff when I make suggestions.
Whoa. Don't get ahead of yourself. No.
Yeah, I know I am.
Is that title supposed to make sense in Japanese? Because it doesn't make sense in English.
I think that's what they call it in Japanese, I think.
Yeah, that was literally the name of like the smartphone game it's based on or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, the rhythm game is no show by Rock going to be a music millionaire.
Sometimes I wish I could just ask Japanese people, what do you think this title means?
You and me both.
No, I'm just surprised to hear that you checked that show out, Mike.
It's one I was kind of curious about at the beginning of the season. I just didn't have time to sit down with it, so I'm kind of glad I did.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's not a smart show. It's stupid, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I have fun watching it every week. It's all that matters to me. And then every time I watch it, I realize we need more Animal Boys in anime. So
you've gotten pretty fixated on these Animal Boy things.
Yeah, no, I know it is. I am. But just the Shingani Crimson's the other main band, the other one of the bands in the thing. They need their own spin-off show. That's just how much I enjoy them every time they come on screen. Every time they come on the screen, I'm like, yes. No, I'm just glad that you did give it a shot. I do want to ask, though, what do you think of the CG in that show?
It's interesting. It's almost like the best way to describe it. They look almost toy-like. Like they look like little merchandisable, pretty much little merchandisable Sanrio figures.
Yeah, because that reminded me when I saw it the first time. I'm like, man, the CG I think is pretty good, at least for anime TV standards. I mean, it's a bit Uncanny Valley, but I saw it and I'm like, man, that looks. To me, it reminded me of Toy Story, at least the first one. Not the same, obviously not the same quality level, but just that sort of that plastic kind of, that plastic toy-like feel to it.
And really, I'm kind of glad they went that direction, because if they tried just doing the people, it would look really creepy. I mean, look at Star Ocean 5 for what it would look like.
Never played that game.
There's just a few promotional shots out now.
Yeah, we're talking about anime here. Jeez.
Yeah.
We're
talking about cartoons, not video games. In a way, I'm sort of glad they didn't give them lips, because Ritori, if they would have put lips on her, they would have really had to dance around to make that not look blackface. Or in a way, not Ritori. Sorry, Moa, the sheep girl.
Yeah, long story made short, it's a fun show. It's quirky. I mean, it's definitely one you're going to turn your brain off while watching, but it's enjoyable. It's something where by the end you're going to have a big smile on your face, just because it's so adorable and over the top.
Oh yeah, it is.
And I agree with you that they need a Shingon Crimson spinoff, but particularly I'd love to see the daily goings-on of Rome, who has the salaryman job.
Yeah, Rome and but he needs more into that Fox dude.
Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, Rome, yeah, definitely, yeah. I love to see Rome and one of his with his daily lives of him being a salaryman.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, they did have an episode where he did show up dressed as he does for work, or dressed up his day job, which was interesting.
Yeah, I actually I cracked up on that part when they were going to the beach or something like that, and they found the
Oh yeah.
hunter. Other than that, aside from the usuals, I did get through Puchimas, which the less said, the better, because anything I say is going to turn into a very angry rant at this point, and we already
Yep.
have one of those.
Yeah, well, we also don't want the Idolmaster
I mean-
fans bombing our website.
I mean, the disc rant wasn't that angry. You could throw another one in if you feel like it. You know, if you haven't gotten it all out of your system.
Well, I could do a disc rant, but it's not really a rant. It's just more me making a point about some odd chapter choices. But
Well, like I said, I could easily rant about this show for a good solid half hour, and I mean,
Cut it down to 10 minutes and we'll talk.
all right, fine. This show is, I thought it was awful. I thought it was just so bad. Like, for those who don't know, Pujimaster is based on the Idolmaster series, and for those who don't know what Idolmaster is, it's like Love Live if Love Live was mediocre. Basically, it's based off an arcade game. Play mini games, do a little visual noveling to raise their idols to this, so they can perform at the end of basically a set. And anyway, they made a show out of that was reasonably successful. Somewhat, it was pretty successful. I'm not going to joke about that. It was successful. It got spin-offs like Cinderella Girls this season, and it also inspired a 4-panel manga called Puchimas. Puchimas is basically the idols find miniature versions of themselves and they interact with them. That's literally it. I mean, the jokes, they literally just drop you in, no introduction, no real introduction to who the characters are. So anyone that's coming in blind is gonna pretty much be saying, who the fuck are these people and why do I care? Really, at that point, who cares though? I mean, the characters are so strong that you're gonna be really adoring characters like silver-haired pedophile, or blonde girl that likes to eat, or brunette that really, really does not like when people take her lunch. And the cast grows so vastly, so wonderfully, at a pace that would make glaciers seem like they're going light speed in comparison. There is no character growth. The characters have no introduction. You're pretty much expected to know who these people are and what they're doing by the time that thing starts. And I do have to admit, though, that lack of character growth was great. It let me get to know these characters a snapshot in time. It really let me know who that silver-haired pedophile really was. And the characters the cast keeps expanding and growing. They keep introducing characters over and over and over again. Sometimes you only see them once or twice in the series, and they just throw them away. Comedic timing is interesting, too, because, I mean, there's a certain mindless quality to this. Like, quite literally, you sit there and you can feel yourself getting dumber on some of these jokes. You can feel your brain cells slowly shriveling and dying one by one until you can count them on one hand at some point. And when I try to do the clever stuff, there's this real telegraphing, like 30 seconds, 40 seconds ahead of time, you know what the punchline is going to be. And they still expect you to laugh at it. Then there's the two clashing art styles. The fact that the backgrounds are literally either office building or gray or multicolored blobs. Or the fact the animation is so low rent, so low budget that it's just, you can literally count the frames of animation in some sequence. It's just... And then, for a show about idols, a show about an idol agency, I would have loved to see something like, say, DigiCarrot's Party Night. I mean, I know this is only a 3-minute show, but this is a show about idols, damn it. I mean, give us something like Party Night. Give us something like even a song sequence from, like, one of the shorter segments from Love Live. Something that latch onto that really expressed the identity. At this point, it's just... I thought this whole thing was just irredeemably bad. And I stand by that. I tried. I really tried. I mean, by the end of the first season, I was literally angry at what I was watching. It was so awful to me. Mind you, this is just my opinion. If you like the show, awesome, but I just cannot say anything nice about this show.
Cool. What else are you watching?
So you didn't... Well, now, I'll kind of interject here, because I have somewhat of a different opinion with Mike now. Yes, I will say there isn't much in terms of animation, but it's a 5-minute show. I'm not expecting the world. And two, this is a show that you have to really know... If you like the TV series or even like the games, I at least say more of the TV series because this is based off of manga, that your enjoyment of this show is really going to be depending on if you know anything about the franchise. Like, if I just showed this to someone going in with nothing, I guarantee they'd probably hate it. Or they wouldn't like it because they wouldn't get it.
But that's the thing. I have 2 of the games. I imported Idolmaster in Life for You. And I really just... It was like a brick wall to me.
I mean, they each their own. I mean, I'm not...
Yeah.
I mean, those short shows are hard to...
Yeah.
I mean, they're hard because you have so limited time to just... especially with comedy and these type of shows, you have just such a limited amount of time to set up the joke. And obviously it's also based on a 4 Coleman novels, or manga. And I'm assuming that it's pretty close to the source material. I mean, in terms of adapting the source material, I've never read them all. I never read it. I'm never going to. I mean, I found it funny. I mean, and I liked it, but I mean, again, I could see where somebody wouldn't like it.
Man, hearing you defend a short form show, I think the world may be ending.
Well, I mean, I don't hate short form shows. It's just there hasn't been a whole bunch of ones I liked, and 2, I find they're easy. They're best suited for marathon watching, not week to week. Because I only actually just watched Fuchimas this year. It wasn't that long ago that I actually watched the first season. Because I watched Idolmaster for the first time this year. I think that was about the beginning of the year. I got that done, and then I decided, well, I need something else to watch. So I watched the first season. I have actually both DVDs. They came in the mail not that long ago. So I haven't watched all the second season. I think I just watched the first few episodes. So I can't say about the quality of the second season. But I will say that it is a very acquired taste. I mean, and I don't think there's going to be any middle ground with this show. It's either you're going to like it or you're not going to like it.
That seems to be the case. I mean, like I said, this is just my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because I understand I'm probably inviting my house to be firebombed at this point, but it's just it wasn't for me at all. I just didn't care for it.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I haven't got firebombed for saying I dropped Kill la Kill after 2 episodes and don't want to go back to it. So I think you'll be okay, Mike.
Good point.
Or getting firebombed for my opinions on SAO, but we're not going to go there on that.
Yeah, that's best for another show.
I think you like SAO better than most of us.
Well, you know what? I think that topic's put to bed. I've said all I want about SAOs, so let's keep the show moving.
Definitely. Yeah, otherwise, it's just been the usual stuff. Actually, not true. Yesterday I started rewatching DNA Squared.
Oh, that's right, because now it's on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I don't have to dig out my DVDs anymore, and that made me very happy. That is a very, very fun show. And for a series that old, I have to admit the dub is actually pretty good.
Well, yeah, it did have our special guest, Jessica Carvalho, in it.
Yep, she played the lead, and she was going against Liam O'Brien, so they had a really good cast on that.
I need to rewatch that show. I had Discotheque's release actually on pre-order last year, and I actually had to cancel for monetary reasons. I was kind of disappointed in that. But now that's on Crunchyroll, I mean, I'm still going to get the Discotheque release. I still want to support that. But now it's on that, I don't have to dig up, watch my CPM release of it either.
Definitely. And tonight I'll be watching a Magi Brilliant Part. Also on Crunchyroll now.
It's interesting how Japanese public opinion has changed since the days of DNA Squared even. Like, that show is like, we have too many people and this guy is going to make it worse. And then a lot of the more recent shows, at least the ones that have a political tilt to them, are all like, we need more babies.
It's amazing how much things can change in just 10 years. Wait, no, 20, sorry.
I was going to say, wait a minute, that was
20.
a 90s show.
20, your math is way off. 93.
Yeah, 22-year-old show.
But, yeah, that's what I'm watching. How about you, Matt?
Well, speaking of turning my brain off, I'm at the phase of Fate Stay Night where that's prudent. I don't know. Type Moon does this with every show that they make. Like it's so good for a while, and then it's like, I don't know. It's like they've been jerking off the whole time, and the ending is literally a mess all over the screen. So this is the point in time at Fate Stay Night where that's going to happen. I can see it coming. No pun intended. What else? Oh yeah. This is like my favorite show possibly ever right now. I'm watching Food Wars, which is just hilarious week after week after week. I cannot get enough of that show, and it's absolute torture waiting for the next episode. I haven't laughed this hard with an anime for a long time, I think.
I have to agree there. I really do. That's when at the end, I'm literally disappointed that it's over.
It's hard to really say anything about it because it's kind of it's your standard young boys show. There's a new challenge week after week for the lead character, and everything else is just fucking hilarity. Yeah, definitely liking that show. I'm not really keeping up with much of anything else. I can't understand what my husband is saying. I keep watching that. It's fun. And every once in a while they sort of get a little deep. But there's usually enough humor in every episode to keep it light. I don't know. That's pretty much it for me. It's a very light season for me. I'm not able to watch as much as I normally do.
I hear you there.
Oh, there was one more thing. Kind of related to my torture and waiting for the next Food Wars every week. I started watching Gourmet Girl Graffiti, thinking it would be similar, and it turned out that it's not really about food. Food is just the setting. But I like the show. It's like family and friendship and stuff. It's nice, a little sugary sweet. Yep, that's it for me.
All right, listeners, we only have one topic tonight, but it is a big one. Hideaki Anno, the man behind Evangelion, the founder of Steed Okada, basically a guy whose resume is as long and prominent as one could ever imagine. If you don't know him, you've either been living under a rock for 20 years or, well, it's hard to say what else. That said, he is known for being a bit outspoken. I mean, this is a guy who famously had a fight with Karakana creator Masami Tsuda because of direction of the show, to the point where he actually quit Gainax. I mean, this is a guy where he is very outspoken. He will tell people what he thinks whenever he thinks. And that said, in a recent interview with Russia's RA Novosti, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. I do apologize, Russian listeners, if I butchered that.
I was surprised to find out they have newspapers.
Naughty American, you're on Putin's watch list now.
Well, all Putin can do is watch lots of things right now while his currency plummets.
Point taken. Anyway, during this interview, he delivered a prediction for the anime industry as a whole. Basically, he said that the industry that we know and love at this point, well, mostly no, its days are numbered. In the next 5 to 20 years, it's going to be gonski. To quote, Japanese animation is in decline. However, the decline and death are inevitable. After it does collapse, there will probably be a new resurgence. And he goes on saying that the real question is going to be whether people want to wait for this return to form or whether they focus their attention elsewhere. Of course, the anime industry is never going to die off entirely. There's far too much talent, far too many outlets that are available at this point that there's always going to be at least some form of Japanese animation. And Anno said, I don't think animation will vanish, but perhaps there might not be the conditions that have existed up until now that have led to the creation of interesting films. Specifically, Anno said that the fall of anime is going to be accompanied by the rise of other countries' animation, in particular Taiwan. This is mostly due to the dwindling number of Japanese animators and a generally declining population causing a contraction in the industry. And because of that, Japan won't be the center of the animation world anymore.
Maybe the fact that animators could make more money picking fruit for some wealthy plantation owner than they do making animation has a little bit to do with it.
I was actually just going to get that. In recent months, we've seen a few reports arise saying that the average animator's wages started around 120 yen or 97 cents an hour, with incomes averaging to about 1.1 million yen or $8,000 a year, with 12 to 16-hour days being the norm, and 6-day weeks being, expected in many cases. I mean, you're literally better off just saying screw it and becoming a NEET.
That's true. You probably could make more money freeloading off of the government than you could in animation.
Exactly. At least the government has an interest in keeping you alive.
Yeah, I have to agree with Matt on that one.
I don't know. There's so many things in Anno's statements because he's old guard, right? He trained as an animator in Japan, and he worked his way up the ladder, and was instrumental in starting at least for a time, very successful company. And now he's just sort of, I hate to put it this way, but he's not trying. Okay, I was about to say he's trying to stay relevant, but I think he's trying to keep growing as an artist, and he's seeing like this wall where it's hard to find help. People aren't really interested in animation that pushes boundaries, and that's almost entirely what he's doing right now. I think your article mentions Miyazaki saying similar things, and I feel like the sentiment is the same in the sense that Miyazaki made feature films and they were internationally renowned, but your basic bread and butter in Japanese animation is manga adaptations for television.
Definitely. The original stuff is nowadays just, it's a rarity. It's almost unheard of most of the time. Like, out of the past couple of years, the original stuff has just been, you're absolutely right. The original animation nowadays is quite literally the exception to a gross rule. And for every title, like, say, Shirobako, there's at least 30 to 40 light novel adaptations every single season. And at the same time, while it's your bread and butter, it's also a big creative wall, because it, as we saw, funny enough, in Shirobako, even though it was stylized, there had to be some frustration with dealing with a laser at some point in there.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, Shirobako seems like a love letter to Hideaki Anno. even up to the the comic, even up to the point where the director like busts into to the publishing house to get an unannounced meeting with the mangaka. I don't know. It seems like, and there were other things, but just it's like there was a lot of that show that was like, we know your pain, and we, that sort of thing.
Fully agreed. Also, it had Hideaki Anno himself as a caricature.
Yeah. Yeah, like they started off by making fun of him, but then there was another episode or two where it was actually very respectful.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm interested in what Kara's up to. I feel like these shorts that he's making, or that the studio is making, is they're exploring. They're exploring the boundaries of what we currently know as Japanese animation, and so far I like what I've seen out of those efforts, and it's not, Kara's not like, I'm sure their whole purpose in life is not making short films. Like this is something that they're doing. Basically riding off the coattails of Evangelion movies and whatever else that just keeps printing money. But they're looking for a way to move the art forward, I think.
I mean, which is never a bad thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to, evolve the medium to the future. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I sort of get what he's saying, and I wouldn't mind more original shows. But there's also other things we got to take into consideration. Is the Japanese economy still isn't. Well, that's, I think, the big one is that their economy still, isn't all that great. So, you're going to look at it and go, okay, can we take a big financial risk with an original show, or safe bet with an adaptation, which again could still bomb, and plenty have. And the other thing too is, an adaptation might sell badly, disc sales, but it might still be considered a success if it, say, bumps up the source material, like Ferreira. I think I'm butchering that name. And that first season sold badly.
The card show, Chihaya Furu,
Chihaya
something
Furu.
like that.
Yeah, I mean the first season sold badly, but it had like a huge boost to the source material, which I think was a light novel or a manga, I forget, and that's why I got a second season. But I would like to see more original shows, but again, there's the risk of having a show be good and to be successful financially. I mean, we have seen a few original shows over the last few years be successful. I mean, like Monica Magica was successful, and that was an original show. The first season of Psycho-Pass did pretty well, and that was an original show which got a second season. And the movie, I don't know how the movie did. The second season sold all right. And those are rarities of an original series in recent times being being a big seller. Because again, unlike an adaptation, they don't have I don't want to say something to fall back on. What's the word I'm looking to say? Where the other stuff is, like I said, it might not be a big seller, but if it says either sounds like. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a bigger risk to do an original production because in the case where you're adapting something, a production committee pays the bills, and it doesn't have to matter to the anime studio whether it fails or not.
Right. Well, again, too, stuff could still sell badly, but if it makes the sort, like say, the source material, a game or a manga or a light novel or a visual novel, if it say boosts the sales, it could say bomb in disc sales, but okay, show sold badly, but okay, we got 3x, or we see a 2x increase in the sales of the source material, it can be considered a success.
That is true. I mean, you have some production companies that literally do treat the anime adaptations as an advertising expense.
Well, most of them are. I mean, let's not lie. Most of them are.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice. I mean, half of these shows are quite literally advertisements for the manga.
Or other. I'd say most of them are. Most of them are that.
Yeah, a good solid majority.
Yeah, that could be something that changes. We're talking about, a respected figure in the community is saying that the whole industry is in decline and will be, for all practical purposes, dead. That is one thing that could happen. I mean, Japan, against all odds, still has a fairly good publishing industry, or a fairly fairly successful publishing industry, at least insofar as manga and light novels are concerned, right? And that's not really the case in other parts of the world. It used to be that, like, even movies would be advertisements for the written work, and nowadays I feel like there's a lot more, at least in the West, there's a lot more movies that get adapted into books later instead of the other way around. And there aren't as many people reading the book first, if at all.
Well, to be fair, sometimes you don't know the book existed until after you see the film. Like, for example, I didn't know the Godfather's first film was based off a book until after I see the movie.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of an unusual example.
Yeah,
but
that is unusual.
I think that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, a lot of people are, and even the movie industry is in decline, but that's a separate topic.
Yeah.
Before that, it was the book industry. It used to be that everybody would have read the book before they went and saw the movie, and that's just not true anymore. But in Japan, there's, I think, a lot of people who read the manga before they see the anime, and then they go and read the manga again. I don't know. That's just the impression I get. I don't have any hard data.
It's a good assumption to make too, though, considering that, unlike, say, especially in Americas, they spend a lot of time on public transport, so they do have more time to sit and read things as opposed to, say, those of us in North America who are usually confined to a car. But at the same time, I'm not sure of how their bandwidth and streaming situations are. Like, one of the first things that really evolved in the U.S. at a breakneck pace as broadband took root was streaming video, if you think about it. 10 years ago, YouTube pretty much revolutionized how people digest internet content. And from there, we just started seeing it pile up to the point where we have quite literally anything we could ever want at the touch of a button to watch. And our bandwidth caps are typically incredibly high. I mean, on even my plan, I have a fairly crappy plan, but I get 4 gigs for $10. It's like you literally have to be trying to exhaust that on a mobile phone. I'm not sure how their situation is in Japan, but it could just be the case that it's, again, I'm talking out of my ass here, but it could be the case that their mobile infrastructure is still built out such that it's more cost effective to use written work because you don't have to worry about bandwidth costs. You don't have to worry about possibility of difficulty of streaming or what have you. It could just be a situation like that, just due to their public transport heavy nature on top of their possible cellular situation. Again, this is just conjecture at this point, by the way.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't think anime streaming. Obviously, I don't think it's real popular there. I would like to see it become more popular, but
But it's on television.
yeah, well,
Right.
Well, the thing is, I mean, some of that stuff's almost impossible to watch on television because it's so censored, which then pulls back to it just a advertisement for the Blu-rays.
Not only that, but it's on at like fucking midnight to
Yeah.
3 in the morning.
Well, I mean, there's some stuff during the day, but that's mostly all kids stuff. I mean, or in the early evenings, but that's all like kids stuff. Like I remember when I was in Japan, like they were showing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I think like at 6 or 7 p.m. During the day, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh! That's a shonen show, not a not a showing of the hardcore crowd, which would air at a much later date.
So those are the only people that are home at 6 or 7 p.m. Due to the aforementioned fact that Japanese people are at work at literally all hours of the day and half the night.
Yeah, true.
And that might be part of why anime has so much trouble finding an audience. Is that to use it I don't mean to resort to a stereotype, but the hikikomori neets are the people that you can rely on to be at home and watching television at pretty much any time. Whereas everyone else is at work for an absurdly long time.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, typically your average anime broadcast, like the stuff that we know, like we will watch typically, say the Psycho Passes, the excuse me, the Psycho Passes, the Sound Euphoniums, those are incredibly late at night. Like I'm talking between 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, these are not at hours that the average working person is going to be up and watching TV.
No, they'll still be out drinking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To use another stereotype.
Yeah. Way to go with the stereotypes, Matt.
But no, I mean, I feel like, if you're looking for an audience in Japan, it's hard to find one, period, that isn't, people who are, for whatever reason, home all day.
You got a point there.
But I don't know. I think I'm not sure if we actually addressed the real reason, at least in my opinion, why he's doing this. Anno knows what he's doing. Every once in a while, he just pops his head up and says something controversial, and everybody talks about it for a really long time. And his studio makes the news, and everything is gravy. Investors are happy.
The guy knows how to market. And like I was saying earlier, this is a guy that famously quit Gainax after a public fight with Mami Tsuda. Did I pronounce that right?
Masami Suda.
Masami Tsuda, there we go.
I don't know. None of us can pronounce it right. Just roll with it.
Yeah, we're Americans. We can't pronounce anything that's in English correctly.
It's a little bit easier to say Tsuda Masami, but then I sound like a fucking fanboy.
Yeah, weeaboo trash.
Yeah, something. I want to make her my waifu. I think the TLDR is that I like what Kara's doing, and I wish it were more accessible, and they need to do more or something.
I don't think I've seen any of their work.
Yeah, I'm looking at the article Mike wrote. I saw that Hill Climb Girl, which is it's a nice little animation.
Okay, because I haven't seen that.
I don't know. I didn't download it, so it must have been streaming from somewhere. Like, this stuff is out there. It's just, if you're not a Japanese speaker, it's unlikely that you'll find it.
Well, through legal means.
Oh, well, actually, these are pretty easy to find. They're right up on Kara's website. And they already have English subtitles.
Oh, excellent.
I've seen about half of them so far, and they've been a good variety of stuff. I mean, you get the fun ones, like you get Hill Climb Girl, which is, I mean, I felt that was channeling the spirit of the 90s. But then you get these really off-the-wall, somewhat... I'm trying to think of a word for this one. Evangelion pornorific with me.
Yeah, I think I saw the same thing you're talking about. It was attributed to Kara, but was that? I don't think that was on their site, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
that,
was it?
That was one that was found on their server like a week before it went live.
Yeah.
And
okay.
It was animated by Kara, I believe, and the music was done by Teddy Lloyd, who did the couple of tracks for Penny and Stocking with Garterbelt.
Of course. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff in there. I liked Hill Climb Girl a lot. I feel like it's definitely an uphill battle for them, just getting enough momentum to do something, serious like a TV series or a movie. That's not Evangelion.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're still busy working on Ava's English subs, so I was keeping them busy right now.
I feel like this is part of what makes Anno so disgruntled from time to time, because the only thing that anybody wants to give him money for is more Evangelion, and I think he's done with it.
Yeah, you can tell he's just tired of it at this point.
And I still feel like one of the only people who hasn't watched Ava.
That is unusual. Maybe less so nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say nowadays. More people have seen the movies than they saw the original TV series.
Yeah, I'm not interested in either of them.
It's not for everybody. It's very, very heavy. Like,
it was a really unusual thing to see. I think that's why so many people get attached to it.
Yeah, because I think now if I've seen it, obviously because I'm not in the best of state from health reasons, I think I'd probably have it probably wouldn't be best for me to watch it now. And the movies don't interest me either.
Actually, more interesting. I've watched through the TV series and both the Ava movies, in a lot of ways. I can't really explain how without getting all spoilery, but it feels like the movies are more of a somewhat of a sequel to the TV series in a lot of ways. Like I said, I can't explain on the show without getting really spoilery, though, because there's a lot of...
You already spoiled me, Ermagerd.
It's part for the best, then.
Yeah. I will say this. Watch it when you're happy and you want to feel sad.
Yeah, I'm not happy right at the moment, so probably be a bad idea.
What if you're sad and you want to feel sad?
Yeah.
Or if you just want to feel sad?
We go right ahead. Go nuts.
Yeah, it definitely gets heavy. I've seen worse. I mean, Evangelion is not like the saddest thing that you can possibly see.
No, that goes to Shadow Star Naruto. Oh my god, that is a series that gets screwed up.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Well, I actually got some screeners of that from Central Park many years ago, and I tried watching it. I really did. But by episode 4, it was so dark and disturbing that I really couldn't. And the packaging on it, like all the marketing materials were just smiling, happy people. So it was like this really weird thing. Like it gets dark as hell. I mean, this is one of those shows where it starts off everyone's normal, and then by the end of the second half of the series, by the end of the first half of the series, half of the people are dead in like these most horrific ways possible.
Sweet.
So did Smino like secretly come in and like direct this?
It really feels like it at points.
It just depends on the manner of death, I guess. I don't know. I think Tamino just has a fucking countdown. It's like,
Well,
it doesn't really matter how they die as long as they die.
Well, that's only when he's depressed.
Yeah.
Because when he's depressed, well, they don't, like I said, they don't kill him Ultimino for nothing.
That is true.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think the original Kill 'Em All was Shakespeare.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
It's kind of a well, I shouldn't even say that. It's kind of a thing in tragedies. Like, everybody dies. It just happens. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, for like the saddest things ever, I was actually thinking for a TV series that would be Now and Here and Now and Then Here and Now.
Oh yeah, that is sad.
I might have said that wrong.
Oh.
Now and Then Here and There.
Yeah, there we go. And of course, Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
well, I'm desensitized to that, so now, but
Because you watched it like a million times.
I chose to review it as my first review for the Anime Herald. That was my own doing.
I still give you credit for making it through that so many times. I watched it once and I was done.
Well, the only reason I watched, because I never really heard, like I said, I never heard the CPM dub, which is terrible. And I had to just obviously rewatch the Japanese version because I haven't heard in years, and of course I had to listen to Sentai's new dub, which I had an argument with somebody else about. I'd say that still wasn't as good as the original, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch it anymore.
Please don't.
Well, the first two, I think that like the time of my fourth rewatch, I had to wait like a month or so before I wanted to watch it again because I'm like, I don't think I can watch this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Well, hey, I mean, Justice Vega sat there a whole bunch of times because he was working for CPM when they were releasing it. So
yeah,
that kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, now he just like I don't know if he like laughs at it or is like immune to it now or something.
Yeah, Grave of the Fireflies along with Barefoot Again, two titles that I will not watch again.
Yeah, that Barefoot Again. That's sad.
It's another one that's so good, but I mean, you can only watch it once.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially that one scene after the bomb drops. I can't see that scene again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, is it a Hiroshima thing? I haven't seen Barefoot Again.
Yeah, well, spoiler for anyone who doesn't want to listen. Yeah, it goes off, and then you see people basically getting vaporized by getting burned alive from like the weapon going off.
Yeah, they were the lucky ones.
Yeah, especially his back because his dog basically chomped on, bit down on a handrail, and then he just dissolved, and then. Well, the worst one was the mother and the child. That one, the mother and the baby, or the mother and the child. That one. Oof.
Well, now I feel like I don't need to watch this.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. People should watch it because it's important, but it's a one and done.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a pseudo semi autobiographical retelling of Keiji Nakazawa's experiences in Hiroshima. It's horrifying.
Yeah, I've read a couple pretty compelling manga about that too. I don't remember the titles right now. It's definitely still there.
Definitely.
There was a Kurosawa movie about a guy that was sick with worry that it would happen again.
Yeah, I think we've kind of killed that topic.
Killed it dead.
Yeah, and we're kind of really getting into some deep territory here.
Yeah, we're getting to points. We're getting to points where guess what else will scar you for life.
Yeah. Well, at least these things scar you in the right ways, if there is a right way.
True.
It's like it's not like watching Ichi the Killer and literally vomiting all over your living room from the disgust.
True.
I can thankfully say I've never watched it.
It wasn't literal, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. You didn't miss much.
It was the figurative, literally, which is now in the dictionary.
You really didn't miss much, Anthony. I am not going to lie.
It's probably for the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the OVA that came after that. That's like a prequel. It was disgusting.
Oh, the movie's just as disgusting. Although the English dub is hilariously bad because they use these like really weird, like Cockney accents, which made it incredibly awesome.
I don't think I could even watch it for live action film. I don't think I could do that.
I'm kind of desensitized because I like Iron Chef, so I've kind of gotten used to the mouth movements.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
the accents.
Yeah, I have trouble with that. Like I said, dubbed anime is okay because that's at least different. Because you're not. That's different.
Yeah.
Live action stuff dubbed, no.
Yeah,
I cannot.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Even that stuff that's original English to other languages, no. It's awkward because at least in English you know what somebody sounds like, and then you hear them. It's like like watch a Jim Carrey movie, and then I think it was. Oh, I know what it was because when I was coming back from Japan, flying back, or maybe I was flying to Japan, and they had the Majestic on, and then switching it over to Japanese. I'm just like, that was just awkward.
Yeah, it's funny seeing it from the other side. Seeing something this, I watched some stupid Bill Paxton movie with, in German when I was flying to Germany, and it's like, wow.
Or
that's what dubbing's really like.
Yeah, or seeing like American television be dubbed, or at least live action stuff, like because like I watch like now when I get like the Simpsons DVDs, they used to. I don't know if they still do it with. They used to have it where they'd have like an episode would have like multiple, like they call it 4 language episodes, which it was like it was our episode, but they have it dubbed in like say another language, which is that's kind of even awkward too to an extent. Like watching you're watching The Simpsons and you hear like Homer Simpson talking in Japanese. And that's kind of awkward to an extent.
All right, everyone, that's our show. Thanks for joining us, and remember to rate and subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher. It really helps us out. Until next time, this is Mike Ferreira signing off.
This is Anthony Simpson. Sayonara, bye-bye.
This is Matt Brown, and I'm starting a pool on when the end of the anime world is going to be. So, tweet me if you want in.
Well, hey, on this says 5 to 20 years, so it takes some time between then.
Calendar's wide open, folks. Till next time, have a great night.